Hey guys, welcome. Welcome back to SketchUp Live.
Or maybe not welcome back. Maybe if you've never been here before, just welcome
And
to the great show, the great and secret show.
just welcome. I guess either way, whether you're here or not, we'll just say welcome. Hope everybody is doing well out there. Um, yeah, I'm self-conscious about my desktop green screen section here, and it's got this it came rolled up, so it's got like a little bump here, and I'm just self-consciously subconsciously smoothing it. Maybe self-consciously. But yeah, I need to
Well,
tape it down or put a weight on it or something. Sorry, Kai. Kai called me out for being fidgety.
let's see.
Uh okay. How's everybody doing out there?
I'm good.
Everybody's good.
I'm wearing green today, so you can't pinch me.
Oh, see,
Also, that's why I blend in with the background.
I see. That's he's actually here on screen right now. I can't see him. Yeah, it is St. Patrick's Day. Happy St. Patrick's Day to anybody who's
Cares.
yeah does that sort of thing. I guess I have found that I've been lied to most of my life. It's not actually an Irish thing. Real Irish people don't apparently know much about it.
Yeah, it's really it was I think it was founded by and really perpetuated by the fraternities at all of the universities here in the United States. Only people that care are people that are looking for an excuse to drink.
Ooh, Kai is saying he got an Ender 3 3D printer. That's pretty cool.
Nice.
I think that is, if I were to go for a new filament printer, that would probably be the direction I would go because I've heard good things.
Yeah, and you can't beat the price.
Yeah, and yeah, this ease of use and good stuff. All right. Well, it is officially noon Mountain Time, so we'll just hop on here and get this thing rolling. Hey guys, how's it going?
Just
Uh, I am Aaron Dietzen. If we have met and if we haven't met, I'm still Aaron Dietzen. And with me in spirit and voice, but not face, is Jody Gates.
hey, that's me. Hey, everybody. I
So,
actually do have a face. Do not,
he does.
do not believe the hype.
He's a person. He exists. He's just not here. So we're still. I don't know. In case you're watching this as a video, it is still amidst COVIDiousness. So we're still part of the coronavirus. We're all still locked up, so we're remote. I guess I forget to mention that these videos do get a lot of views outside of here, so we're doing this all remote right now. But I hope you guys are doing
Hey,
good.
this is the 1 year anniversary, right?
Yeah, right around now is when we went home
Eh,
for 2 weeks. 2 weeks, maybe a month. That's what we were told when we got kicked out of the building.
I never believed it would be less than 3 months,
Yeah,
but I
that's
was
well,
foolishly optimistic there too.
off by a factor of four. So I hope you guys are all
So far,
safe and that kind of stuff. And I was going to ask, like, um, so we did mention that here in the U.S. it is St. Patrick's Day. I realize that is, from what I understand, a fully American holiday. It is marked by everybody wearing green and drinking beer, sometimes green, sometimes not, and sometimes just drinking other things that maybe have a loose connection to some Irish something or other. Um, Pretty much, if you put green dye in it, you can drink it. I guess is a rule. But um, this is how I wanted to brag on myself for a little bit because I feel so smart. I almost grabbed a green shirt to wear today, which in the world of green screen is an invisible shirt. So I ducked that and wore a light blue. It's kind of celebrative, you know, because look, it acknowledges that today's a special day. That's what I got.
does it? I mean, it sort of suggests by that reasoning that every day is a special day.
Hey,
I guess.
you make today a special day. That's up to
All
you.
right, every day above ground.
That's right. Um, and this is my big success. I almost grabbed the light blue tealish cup that disappears in the background, but instead went with red. So kind of feel like I peaked here. This is as professional grown up as I'm gonna get.
Look at you thinking ahead.
Yeah, big day, big day. All right. So what we're gonna do today is this is slightly topical. Again, going back to talking about working from home, that sort of thing. We have a handful of live components that we're going to use to transform a room, perhaps an extra room, a study, a guest room, to convert it into a home office. So, kind of cool. Some of these live components have actually been up on 3D Warehouse for a while. Some of them are brand new. Want to look at that, but I also want to get into modeling rooms. I mean, honestly, how do you go about modeling a room for something like this? So I have a handful of tips and tricks that I've amassed over the years of making videos that I want to share with you guys that we can talk about when we go into model a room. So you guys come up with your questions, fire them out as we go through here, and we'll try to get those covered. So let's hop in. All right, so right here we have an empty SketchUp screen. I did go through and download most, I think I may have missed one, most of the components that are in the forum. So if you haven't seen them, forums.sketchup.com, we do have a list of extension, or a list, a collection, there's the word, a collection of these files, so you can actually go grab them all if you want. I download them beforehand. You can actually configure them and then download them if you're in the 3D Warehouse, but I grab them ahead of time because it's a little bit, you know, it's just not entertaining or fun or educational to watch somebody else download a file. You guys know how to do that. I'm trusting you.
I don't know. I think it's fun. It's exciting whenever they've got like 20 tabs up there and they have to guess which tab they're actually going to. A little bit of what's behind door number 3.
That is true. That's something. All right. So let's start by making a room. I'm going to say that we want to work off of a room that is going to be, you know, around here, kind of an average extra bedroom. So outside of the master bedroom, you have other rooms that, like I said, this could be a study, this could be a bedroom. I'm going to say it's about 10 foot by 20 foot. Which seemed like a fair size. So I'm just going to start with a rectangle. I'm going to put 10 foot by 12 foot. 10 foot, comma, 12 foot. Enter. I didn't do that right. I did 210 feet by 12 feet. That's not going to work. Wow, first mistake ever, and you guys saw it.
It's actually being recorded.
Ooh, gonna have to edit that out. All right, so here's my floor plan. So if you wanted, if you were so inclined, you could just work off of this to do a room layout. So what I could do is I could actually just come here and I could start putting my items in, you know, moving them around on this rectangle. That would actually work. That is an option of a way you could do this. Obviously, one of the things you lose there is the 3D-ness of the whole thing. So we're a 3D company, right? So we're going to go ahead, I'm going to pull this up 9 feet, and now we have an actual room. It's going to be hard to work in from here. So this is the first thing I wanted to look at, because working in rooms like this, there's a couple options, the ways you can go about working inside them. So one is to just muscle through, right? Just do things like poke your head through here, work in here. The problem with working inside of a closed room is it's hard to navigate. Even with a 3D mouse, you can see it's really hard to look around, but it's also hard to present your work. So I've got this sweet layout, but you can't see anything. So from here, there's this option. Ceiling, deleted, and I can work down into the box like this. I know all my surfaces are reversed, so I'll just do this so nobody mentions it. I'll just say reverse faces. Now I have proper faces. This is an option too. Same thing happens here though. So once I get, so I'm going to grab my couch again, I'm going to drop it in there, and then, you know, to look around the room's a little tough because I'm stuck to looking down inside this little model. Option 3 is what we call the vignette, right? So you get rid of this and you work off of this view, knowing that those front walls do exist in real life, but you're not going to actually model them. Or maybe you'll come back later and just, you know, throw those walls back in. That's possible. So this is actually a very popular way to do it because it is so simple, it is so easy. A potential downside is it does limit your view, right? You can only look at it from this side. If I want to spin around, see what it looks like over here, obviously can't do that. So, what are your other options? Well, there's a couple things we've done in the past. One is I can take each of these walls, group them, and then throw them on tags. So I could have front, back, left, right walls, and then I can flip them on and off as I work through it. That's nice because it gives you the most flexibility. By doing it that way, I can say turn these front 2 walls off and do all my work, but if I want to, in the end, say I want to do a render looking at the room this way, I could just turn them back on. That is a great way to do it. That's really nice. Another option, and I've done a skill builder on this, is to make the walls transparent from the back. So what I can do is I can come in here with my colors. I can come home right here. If I pick this color right here, right? So if I pick this, it shows me the front face is this white on one side, gray on the other side. So I can actually manipulate this ever so slightly. What I could do is I could come in here and I could create a new color. So I'm just going to say, I'm going to come over here and grab a silvery, let's grab a ridiculous color so we can tell the difference. Purple color. And I could put that on the back side. So see, now it's white on the front, it's purple on the back. That doesn't help me at all. Next step is to take that purple and give it 100% opacity. So now it's see-through. So now I can put it around the back sides. So now when I look, whoops. Let's try that again. All right, so this one, the front face is the white, the back face is my translucent purple. On here, I could grab the same one. I can say make this one into that translucent. So now I can still see it from the inside. Same thing over here. We'll go make that translucent. Oops. Grab that translucent. Unfortunately, if you just do a flood fill on a face, if you just click it, it puts that material on the front and the back. So you have to be a little more selective. So I pick it and then change that to the flood translucent. There we go. So now, whenever I look at the backside just disappears. I could do the same thing for the ceiling. So I come in here, close this back up. I deleted that ceiling earlier, select that, and then make the backside into the translucent. So when I look up, I still see the ceiling. So this is from the outside, all 4 pieces are there, but I can look through them from the outside. This is nice, but there's a but here. These things are still here. For all intents and purposes, I'm still on the outside of a cube. So if I want to select this couch and I click right here, I'm never going to get that couch. I got to start doing things like this to move things around. Now if I want to move it, here's the bad thing. I'm actually clicking on the face of the clear as my starting point. So everything has to become a relative move. I can't snap to stuff inside real easy. So this way of doing it is a nice way to present. So if when I finish, I can go, okay, I want to present this room to a client or my significant other to show what I'm thinking about, you know, setting up the guest room, that kind of thing. This is nice because I can spin around and I don't have to go flip and turn stuff on and off because I can just say, okay, as I spin around, look at this room. It automatically does it. So it's a really cool presentation tool. It's not ideal for actually working in the model. If I was to work in the model, there's a couple things I would probably do. one thing that a lot of people have asked, and I don't know, somebody may have already asked this because it is a popular idea, is to come in here and put in a bunch of section planes. So come in here, put my section plane 1, and then of course I do want to make sure that I go into my styles, because right now that section plane doesn't do very good because the fill is turned on. But if I come in here, I can say section fill, turn that off. And now, if I turn off my section planes, I can peek in through this side and I can work on it. And then in my outliner, I can just toggle these on and off. So if I deactivate that, and then it goes away. Problem with that is it's a little clunky to be going through and flipping that stuff on and off. So I'm kind of thinking the solution that I will use is a combination of transparent backsides and tagging these walls. Because I think I'll do a lot of my work without anything turned on. So just working on this flat rectangle footprint and then turn my walls back on as I need them. I think that's the idea that I want to go for. So I'm going to do that real quick. I'm going to grab this front wall. I'm going to make it a group. I'm not making it a component because I'm not going to reuse any of these. They're going to be everything's going to be one of a kind. And I come over here to tags, and I'm going to call this, I'm going to do this. I'm going to call it wall dash front. I'm putting wall first because as I create multiple tags, it's alphanumeric, so all my walls will be together. So grab this one, I'll triple click, make group. And this is a nice thing about in the Windows, or I'm sorry, the Mac interface, I can actually come up to tag and type the name of a new tag right here. And when I do that, it automatically populates down here in tags. If you don't have, if I have Windows instead, I do have to come create my tags first. So I'll say wall back and wall left, and we'll make one for ceiling. And then I can just double click, not triple, make group, assign that to wall back, triple, double click. I'm click happy. I want to triple click. My fingers just give me an extra click no matter what I do. Make a group and put that on wall left.
Overzealous.
Yeah. And then we'll grab this. This I can triple click because nothing else is connected to it anymore. Woo! You're ahead of your time, right finger. All right. So there. So now I can, with everything turned on, I can see it easy enough. And if I want to actually work in here, I can say I'll turn my front and right off, and then I'm just working inside there. So that works. That's going to work for what I want to do. The other thing you could do with this in theory is you could save that as a template and then just go stretch everything out as you work with different size rooms. That's kind of something to think about.
We need to submit this as a live component idea. That way I can templatize the room. Yeah.
I like that. That's a good idea. All right, so I'm going to do a couple more things in here and address some things that people have asked about. So one is to, I'm going to add a door. This is another one of those spots where how much detail do you need to put in? It really is up to you. How much do you need to have a door there? Can you have a rectangle? Do you need to have a frame? What do you need there? And I guess the answer is, depends on what you want. So I'm going to say, I'm going to have a 6'10" door that is 2'10" wide. Put that rectangle. I'm in my left wall right now, and I'm going to delete it. And I'm going to say that's almost enough information for me. So something else that I want to think about right now is my trim that I'm going to have on the edges. Do you have to put in trim? No, probably not. You could probably get away without ever adding trim. Some people get concerned because, you know, it does add 1/2 inch, 3/4 inch, whatever the width of your trim is, to the size of your room. So if you're looking for something like, will a bookcase fit in here? It is going to affect where it can sit because it can't sit flat up against the wall with trim. So it might be worth considering. I'll go ahead and add my trim right now. So I'm going to click around. I'm going to select all the way around like that, and I'm going to use offset. And I'm going to offset it, I don't know, 2 inches. Nah, 3 inches. Yeah, that's better. And then I'll pull it out like 3/4 of an inch. And for what I'm doing, that's going to be good enough. I think that's gonna work for what I want to see. Um, it's just enough detailed so that I remember that that's there. When I go to take something and bump it up against the edge, I'm not going to go flat to the wall. I'm going to be a little bit away because of that trim. That's the kind of detail I think I need. If you're going through the point where you're actually like buying trim off of this or something like that, then you want to go a little bit further, maybe make each of these pieces components that you can then tag and report upon, that sort of thing. For me, this is going to be, I think, enough. I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna put a color in here too. Um, let's see, let's get a, I almost asked a silly question. So do we have any nice wallpapers in here? Because I don't think wallpapers come in nice. They come in gaudy or mildly offensive.
They're like RV camper cloth materials.
So instead, I'll go find a nice, I don't know. It seems like most houses have this kind of not white, not yellow, not peach, but a kind of a cappuccino. I don't know what they're called.
So whenever I was trying to figure out what the perfect color was a while back, apparently the sort of the favorite, at least as a few years ago here in the U.S., was Swiss mocha. I believe is what they call the color.
Yeah, and which is it's like a really pale tan color, right? It's like the
Yeah,
least offensive color in that we could come up with.
like it's like coffee if it was 1 part coffee, 7 parts milk.
Sounds about right. Um, the issue, and this is just now I'm just talking. We're just hanging out and I'm talking about stuff at this point. But the thing that always gets me is, I know it's the way that SketchUp does shadows by default. With my shadow settings, with these default settings, the color looks so different depending on where. So I mean, it's almost pure white here, and if I come around bringing the shadow, it looks almost like a dark peach color. Um, and that is where you can turn on use sun for shading and kind of get these to a more uniform. I forget the total uniform settings. I think it's like 80 and 80 or something like that. They won't. They'll be the same no matter where you look at them from. So if you have an issue with that where you don't like the way that the colors change based on where the sun is, you might want to check that out. Turn use sun for shading on and set your dark up to 80, and that color will stay uniform no matter where you have it spun around. So just a thought, something you may want to consider. All right, I'm going to go just one step further. I don't actually like that. That's too bright for me. I'm going to cut my trim at the corners at 45 degrees. That's just going to give all of my corners, they're going to meet nice at the corner there. So I could play around a little
You're gonna
bit.
spend 45. You're gonna spend 45 minutes setting up this room and never touch a live component.
I'm sorry. The rest will go quick, I think. I'm going to grab this line, bring it around 45 degrees, and then just push that down. Boom, 45 degrees. There's lots of different ways to put this 45-degree line in here. I'm such a big fan of uh, the rotate command. I don't know what it is, but the last year or so, I've been just finding excuses to use rotate. All right, that was good. I'm gonna go to the next wall. I know, that was, all right, so this one will go quicker because I'll just go to this height, pull it straight across, do a push, pull, and double click. Whoops, it went the wrong way. So I'll pull it out this way. 3/4 of an inch. I know that's thick baseboard, but I want to be able to see it good. And because I've already done this corner, I can just copy that, push that down. This side, I'll do the rotate again. Option, copy that to 45 degrees. erase this, push, pull this down there, and then last, I'll just paint that wall in. All right, see that wall was quicker. Last two walls I don't have on right now. Ooh, I need to make the floor into a group too. We should probably put some carpet on here. Let's go check out what we got for carpet options. So I'm gonna grab this. Well, maybe I'm not gonna grab that color. That kind of offends me. There we go. That's the look of the carpet I want, but not the color. I don't know if you guys hit this. I hit this all the time where I like a portion of a stock material, but I don't like it. I want to have like a lighter color. So what I can do is find the one that has the texture I want. And then if I double click that, I can actually come in here and kind of colorize that. So I can change it to whatever color I actually want. So if I want kind of a... I'm looking around my house because the room I'm in, we have not painted. We haven't changed the carpet. Like nothing is changed from the way the builder made it. So I'm trying to match that for good or for bad. But so that's an option too. If you ever want to do that where you like the look of something but not the exact color, all you have to do is put it in, come over here, double click on it, and then go to the color wheel and change that color. All right, real quick, two more walls. Let me turn off these two walls, turn these two walls on, and I'll do the same thing here. I'll just option copy, or here, we'll just come up 3 inches. Oh, what's going on there? I didn't go up, I went back. Go up 3 inches. Draw that line across, push pull that 3/4 of an inch, and then get my 45s on here. Oops. Push pull that down. All right, I'm gonna do these two walls, and then we'll start decorating this thing. I think it's okay because I really think using these dynamic components means, whoops. I just put the wall color or the floor color on the walls. Using these dynamic components means this is going to go pretty speedy as far as actual decoration of the room. Last one, snap that to 45 degrees, push that down. Fill that wall in. All right, there we go. So if we turn all my walls on, I can spin around. And this is kind of a cool, it's a byproduct that happens automatically. These materials are automatically using the same backside I've already used because I only painted the fronts. So I'm getting this kind of see-through trim look where I can actually see where the trim is. I can see where the door is from the backside, but it's kind of ghosted. It's kind of a cool look where I have a reminder that that's there, but I don't have to actually worry about it getting and obscuring my view. All right, so there is my room. That's probably a good spot to hit Command S. These are my saving fingers. Command over here, save over here. All right, so that looks pretty good. All right, so I think I have to have a window in a bedroom, don't I? Isn't that like a requirement?
I guess it depends on if it's to code, right? And does it have to have an egress?
Yeah, so let's
basements.
Let's slap a window on here. I'm just gonna do a 36 by 36 window. That's good looking stuff right there. All right, so I'm just gonna move it, align that with the door. Let's put it right smack in the center of this room. Where's smack in the center? What?
You just use the inferencing to find the midpoint of the line. That's all you need to do.
I did, but I clicked some other point instead of the midpoint. So that was a silly thing to do. All right, so I'm just do that. There we go. That's my window. Again, I can add as much as little details I want. Really, my concern is that I don't put like a bookshelf covering that up or something. All right, we're there. We've got this. All right, so I'm going to start my actual work of bringing components in by I'm going to turn off my right and front wall and my ceiling. So I'm going to do my initial work in this vignette kind of view. Cool. So let's go take a look at what we got for stuff. What did the IKEA run yield for us? Don't hate. If you don't like IKEA, that's fine. I'm sorry. I apologize. People have strong opinions about IKEA. You know, one way or the other. Very few people are like, meh, take it or leave it. That's been my experience. Okay.
I'm pretty meh, take it or leave it.
Oh, really?
I don't like how disposable it is, though.
There's an exception to every rule, I guess. All right. Yeah. So again, I think I'm gonna kind of use my room. You guys will get to see what my room ended up looking like, kind of at the end here. So I do have a desk. So let's build our home office around the desk. That makes a lot of sense. So I'm going to bring in my desk. This is way nicer than my desk is a piece of plywood on a folding plastic table. So this is a step up.
With a sweet green topper.
That's right. With my invisible green mouse pad. 4 foot, and they still call it a mouse pad. It's kind of cool. All right, so let's start by I'm gonna actually line this up. One of the cool things about, I think, Jody, was this 2020 or 2021 where I got my grips on the corners of my containers? Do you remember?
It was like, I think it was 2020.3.
Okay. So it's huge for doing stuff like this. So you can see I can just grab it by the corner rather than having to pick a point on the actual geometry. I can use this corner and I'm just going to drop it, boom, right there. So it lines right up with the trim, even though the geometry itself doesn't. That gives me a little bit of space in the back to run wires down. And let me tell you something. I have got cables in the back of my desk. I don't know if this space would actually be big enough to run all the cables.
Pictures of their workspace and there's not cables. And you're just like, they found everything to be wired. Even my wireless stuff has cables.
I don't know
somewhere
who they think they're tricking, because I don't buy it.
Not me.
All right, so let's take a look at the this component. So I'm gonna hit Configure Live Component. That's gonna bring up my Live Component window. It's gonna ping the database and bring down my configurable data for this table. All right, so I got height options. This does look like it's, I mean, based on the telescoping leg here, I'm assuming that this is a, convertible to standing. Whoa. I don't know how high 1,500 inches is, or 1,500 millimeters, but based on the door up here at around 7 feet, that's a very high desk. And I'm going to call shenanigans on this leg fully telescoping into this top leg.
And it's amazing. It's the miracles of modern science that have accomplished this task.
We've tucked wormholes and pocket dimensions into our office furniture.
Exactly.
All right. Well, that's cool. It's good to know. Good to know. I can do that. Again, I do actually have a wider desk. Mine is 8 feet wide because I have a lot of stuff on here. So I'm going to go a little bit wider. I'm going to move that over, which I can do while I'm still in configuration. I can also change my depth. I really feel pretty good about where this is at, so I'm just going to leave that. I'm going to go ahead and leave that where it is. We can change our corner types. Nice sharp corner. That's called the thigh kisser right there. That little corner right there. The bruise maker. And an inbuilt shelf. I don't know what that. Ooh, that's fancy. That's what I want. I need that. I'm gonna have to build that and expensive.
Yeah, that's a smart design there.
I like that because I could put sodas And actually, I have, fortunately you can't see it, but I have piles of pens, scissors, um, a guitar tuner, some gaff tape, some glasses. Man, I got keyboards. I got all kinds of stuff. So this is actually pretty nice. I'm gonna go with this. Um, so this is the, I'm assuming the material thickness is number of shelves, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's pretty cool. I actually like the 3. And the shelf height, so I could actually make this a little narrower if I want. I think that's a cool design. I'm going with that. All right, leg type, tapered, wireframe, simple frame. I guess I like the adjustable looks the most professional to me. Okay, for wood, oh, we have wood or laminate. We don't have unfinished plywood as an option, so I can't exactly match what I got going on. We'll stick with wood, I guess. Mahogany. Ooh, so maybe if we go pine? It's a little lighter. And then leg color, I am going to go with a darker color because I think that looks better. That's pretty cool. I do have to say, some of these leg types, like this wireframe one, looks kind of like we did a video last year with a company called Kit & Co. And what they made was they actually made powder coated metal parts that you could buy to create stuff like this, but you would put your own wood on. So if you had like reclaimed wood or like a slab that you wanted to use at the top, they just made the metal parts, which is really cool. And this kind of reminded me of that. We did a video with them, like I said, last year. It was supposed to be the first of a series, and then the vid hit and seriously cut down on our traveling.
It was a very short series.
Yeah, I think it was two videos is what we ended up making, and then travel kind of stopped. All right, so much talking. I like this. I do like that desk. That's a cool file. So let's keep going though. I'm gonna do more stuff. So we have other options here. We'll get to more of them. I want to finish off my desk. We have this computer desktop option. So I'm going to drag that in, drop it on here. It's configurable too, though I don't know how. So I'm just going to put it on the top, tabletop. And let's see what configuration options we have for this. This will be interesting.
Well, that's a fun one.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what I can do here. Okay, so I have a monitor I can turn on or off. See, that's the I call it the coffee shop setup here. Let's go. Yeah, there we go. Some people are like, oh, here's my workspace. And I'm like, oh, man, I don't buy it. I call shenanigans. That's not enough stuff. How would you be productive with only that much stuff?
They're probably extra productive because they're not all, there you go. That's productivity.
Get her done. All right, let's turn some monitors back on. Let's turn the laptop on. Let's turn the keyboard on. What do we have here? So we have a single monitor or a dual monitor. All right, dual is closer to what I got set up here. Is the display on or off? Oh, that's kind of cool.
Huh.
Extra keyboard, yes or no? Notepad, yes or no? Okay, so it's basically, I'm toggling on different options. That's cool. Dressing color.
I'm curious that there's not a mouse though.
Oh, so this is basically, this is titled white or black, but it's basically Windows or Mac, I think is what those should be titled. And then we have this gray, which is like, could be either way. This is the non-discriminatory color of the desktop. Cool. So let's yeah, I'm just leave it like that. That looks pretty good. I'm gonna slide it back. I'm gonna take it back. I need that many things on my desktop so I'm productive. All right. Let's keep moving here. Some things I don't have, but okay, so I do have a bookshelf off to the left. So there's 2 bookshelves up there right now. Whoops, I grabbed the same one twice. Oh no, there it is.
Yeah.
So we have
the same.
These 2. I want to explore these. I'm gonna do shopping. I'm gonna go to IKEA and shop for the perfect bookshelf. So if I do configure my live component, um, I like this. This has more of a classic look. Well, actually, it has kind of a retro look with the round corners. I get a 70s vibe off of that. Um, but I feel like it's a little more classical look than a little more artistic over here, or modern. So let's see, I can go with box shelving. Ooh, all right. Parametric shelf. Oh my, whoa.
There you go. Well, if you didn't have a customizable wall feature before, this is now.
Wow. I couldn't do it because I would walk into the room and have to
I
like,
think that there'd be a warp in the space-time continuum on the side of your room.
yeah, so I'm gonna go with a regular bookshelf because that is too much. I can't handle it. I'll be honest about it. I can't handle it. All right, so we have the stuff I would normally expect here, the depth, number of divisions, so that's the number of shelves. Okay, there, that's what I was looking for. So if I go to square, now I'm looking at like, so this is our Target IKEA standard. It's probably like $29.99 right here. Probably made of particle
There's
board with laminate.
there's rock dots over the O in whatever the name of it is.
Yes. Yeah, this is actually a Flubengroup. Okay, so that's where we can, oh, this is a different interface than we've seen on some of the others where I have a toggle between wood or paint, and then I can switch between pine, which will match my desktop over here. Or if I switch to paint, then I can actually pick a color or custom. That's kind of cool. I like that interface um, better than, not that it's sometimes we've seen where they're all compressed into one. And I like that toggle lets me switch. Am I just going to be all wood or all paint? So I kind of like that. So
So to
just
manually make changes to this, you have to first finish it and then download it into the model, at which point it's a regular component, right? And then you can make your edits that way.
well, it's still a dynamic, or it's still a live component, unless I right click and I say detach definition, at which point it becomes just a regular component. I can do anything I want with it at that point.
What if I wanted to make those shelves red, but wanted to paint them red? That's not an option.
Well, then I could go to wood or paint. I could go to custom, and then I could pick
Okay. I didn't see the
red.
custom. Okay, bad example. What if I wanted to make the desk red? Was that an option?
No, it could be. I get your point. I mean, the point is, at what point I get to the point where I want to disconnect. I don't want to have it be a Dynet live component anymore, and that's where I can
Well,
detach definition and edit it however I want.
and and Steve D on YouTube is actually asking if you can configure them manually as well,
Yes, absolutely. So once
or
you hit
reconfigure.
detach definition, it just becomes a component. So it's just SketchUp geometry at that point. You can go in and do whatever you want to it. Absolutely. All right, so I like this. I'm going to undo because I want to get back to my natural wood. So that's a contender, but I want to see what I can get out of this guy right here. So I'm going to start by, I'm actually, well, no, I won't put him, I'm just going to stick him right here. And I'm going to configure this one because I think I can come up with a better, more cohesive look between this and the desk than what I can get out of this traditional bookshelf. I mean, this is a good stand-in for what I probably already have somewhere in my house. But if I'm designing, I might want to go for something more like this. I feel like we've looked at this one before, actually. I think we've seen this. So I can make it wider, can make the shelves a little deeper, make it taller. We can change the number of shelves. So it has right now a small shelf option that I can turn on or off. And oh, I can move that small shelf up or down. I like it in the middle there. And then I can change the width of that smaller shelf. Let's make it a little bigger. Shelf thickness, frame thickness. Okay, so the frame is lacquered steel right now. Sounds like one of the looks from Zoolander.
Lacquered steel.
Lacquered steel. All right, so I think what I could do here is if I go to this desk and configure it, if I change the legs to be that modern frame, I think I can actually have more of a real office look tying together between these two. So if I grab this, I think I'm going to have to go back to a darker color though. Change my legs to Simple frame? Yeah, see now I got a little bit of a match here. I don't have that same wood option. So let's see if I go to natural and then can do the same thing over here. Change that to natural too. And actually while that I might scoot this over just a touch. There we go. Sorry. That got me. I had to change that. Literally, apparently I had to change that and I had to change it now. Do I have So I have walnut. So I don't have the exact same wood options, but those are pretty close. So that gives me a little more cohesive look because they kind of look like they go together a little better. Scoot this over just a little bit and get it kind of centered on there. Oops. The other thing, and I don't have this, but I do have an option to grab some office drawers and slide them in. I might start by, so I'm going to go with that bookshelf. I'm going to throw some office drawers in here, configure that, get them to a matching look. So see if I can get some wire handles that are square like the rest of these pieces. Get the wood matching. I like the triple drawer. Oh, 4 drawers is just too much. I'm not gonna, let's don't be silly. So I don't have an option of a square handle. I do have different round handle options. So, all right, so I'll stick with the bar handle for now. Maybe I'll come back and customize that afterwards. I could put wheels or standard feet. I'm good with wheels. Let's see. So if I go to mahogany, that matches my drawers over there. And let's change the front back to wood also. Yeah, I think that'll work. All right, let's move that then. Move that back here. I'll slide forward a little bit so I can get into it. I like that. And slide this desktop over a little bit to account for that drawer space. All right, cool. I think this is coming along. So I don't oh, I made a copy. I don't dislike this, but I don't think it's going to make it into my room. All right, some more options here. Hey, we got a feature wall, Jody. Somebody heard you.
Woo!
Let's get that up there. That's an important piece. I do like, so I do like the parametric random sliders. It is kind of a fun thing that I think Live Components takes advantage of, where I can come in here and I can do some stuff where just get some weird things that I wouldn't put together normally. It's not fully like random because it is parametric, controlling it, but I do like the idea of having this thing that I wouldn't be able to come up with by myself, like having that systematically generated is kind of cool. So in here we can do staggered squares or diamonds. Square grid, that sounds too uniform. I don't think I'm going to go for whatever that is. Nah, I like that staggered square best. Pick the best one right up front. So we have a material, texture, canvas. Let's see what canvas looks like. Oh, this is just like the finish of the color that goes on there. All right, I guess felt was good. Panel size, panel spacing. I like the idea of getting a little bit more. Yes. And actually the size of it came out near perfect. I think it's a little too big, so I'm going to drop it down just like 2 panels. I like having the big ones on either side, and then make my panels just a little bit bigger to fill the space out. It's a little too filling up the space there. And then I can make my colors. I'll stick with 3 colors. Primary, second, all right. And then I assume these are the options of the different pieces that are put through here. So let's see what, we turn some tessellated ones on too. Ooh. and some valleys. Valleys are boring. All right. I like it. I like it. I don't like the flat ones though. Those are dull. Okay, maybe we need a couple though. Cool. So I like that. I even like the color. I mean, I don't have a specific color in mind for this room, but I'm just gonna stick with it. Okay, so it's looking good. So we kind of have this half. Oh no, you know what else I do? I want to stick a couple more things over here. So we have a plant. I want to put on the shelf right here because nature.
I like how
Um,
it just kind of creeps on through the floor, the shelf there.
yeah, I'm hoping the live component can take care of that for me. Let's see what happens. I have no idea what the options are. I'm putting things onto this file before I even know what it does. Um, Fern, tree, ooh, a New Zealand flax. That sounds exotic. Whoa!
Huh? Oh,
No, that's
oh, yeah, yeah. That's not what I was expecting that to turn into. I'll be
Yep.
honest.
Oh, so we take the height down a little bit. Now it fits. But now I feel like it's a flower in a cage, like it's oppressed.
But also, that's a heck of a vase to hold those
That is
or
true. That is a
canister.
lot. We have some planter options here. Drop into a clay pot. All right, curved. That makes more sense
Okay.
for flowers, probably. Um,
Yep.
it's not going for the rugged, manly aesthetic I was hoping to convey in my.
Concrete cube.
There we go.
It, look,
See, that's a little closer. Um,
it looks huge on that
it
shelf,
does
though.
look big.
It's
Um,
curious. You can't make the vase itself smaller.
no, I can. What else can we do? Well, let's keep playing here. Let's see what a tree looks like. I'm assuming that's going to be too big for the show. Oh, hey, we can make. Hold on. We can make this work. I like this.
What can we?
We can do this because what we can do. So I'm assuming. So let's say this is good. Let's get this to the point where we like this. I like this little short tree. I think it's cool. Make it even a little bigger. Just playing with, I don't know what that is. That is cool. That's fun because this is the kind of stuff that as a guy who likes details in my models, which I don't always get to the details in live models. We talked about this last time. Sometimes I run out of time in the live models to properly detail things out, but I do like when my models are detailed. I would rather model details into my model than use materials a lot of times. But this is the kind of stuff I will spend hours on copying and rotating leaves. So that's kind of nice that it does that. So I like this, but I want to make it fit on my shelves. So I'm going to see if I can manipulate my shelves. So I'm going to say configure live component. Let's see what I have for how I could change my shelf around a little bit to make this tree fit a little better. So I'm going to go to my small shelf. So I only have the option of one small shelf, but if I drop the number of bigger shelves, something like that, and then I can move this up. All right. Maybe I'll make my whole overall shelf just a little bit taller. That'll by making the whole thing taller, it'll stretch out I call it my tree shelf. Let's just make this whole thing a few hundred millimeters taller. There we go. And now I'll grab this guy. Slide him on up. Have you ever, okay, so as SketchUp users, have you ever in real life looked for a midpoint or a snap point on a thing? Have you ever gone to move something and gone, okay, I got to get this by the, oh, that's not going to work. I've done it both when like cutting lumber, like how do I snap the saw to the midpoint of this piece? It doesn't, it's not there. Just in case you guys ever go looking, it doesn't exist. But I've also moved stuff and tried to line things up and gone just for half a second, just long enough to make myself feel dumb about the confusion of virtual and reality.
I guess I
Stumbled
don't
on
use
that.
SketchUp enough I don't use SketchUp enough to have SketchUp specific attempts to use UI, but there are other things. I mean, I'll try and pull up a mini map.
Doesn't work.
Dang it. Or
Oh,
I go up to a book and I try and zoom in, or a picture, looking through a catalog or a magazine. Wait, what is this?
yeah. Yeah, Dieter has tried to use push-pull hand gestures before. Oh, it's real. It's real. Um, yeah. Oh my gosh. I just finished reading Ready Player 2, which I don't know if you guys have. Ready Player 1 was a great book. I actually liked it in a different way than I like the movie, but I just finished Ready Player 2 last night, but it was actually a paper book that my brother sent me for Christmas, and I swear at least once a night reading it, I would go like this.
Yeah.
At least one time every single night, I tried to swipe the page up. Turns out you can swipe the page, but you have to physically go to the next page and go like that. It's real, man. It's real.
That's weird. So you're killing trees and making your life more difficult to read that book.
You know, there's still something tactile and enjoyable about paper. I mean, the smell of a book, if nothing else. Like, do you know that smell of a new book, of the pages? It's cool. There's and the touching the paper, book paper is different from like printer paper.
Well, yeah, the like the smell in a bookstore or a used
Oh,
bookstore especially.
oh yeah, it's awesome. But you, the work it takes to not only keep, and okay, first world problems. Oh yeah, I'm gonna complain. Bear with me. Keeping a book up on my lap and open at the same time with one hand, oh, it's so much work. Whereas I can have my iPad or my phone like this and I can swipe. Oh, it's so easy. It's so nice. But the worst part of it all is I have to have a light on to read. And
Right.
I'm just such a spoiled human.
So I have
Sorry.
a Kindle Paperwhite, which is e-ink. So the battery lasts forever, but it stays lit, but not lit enough to mess with my night vision.
Ugh. Yeah, so I've already decided my next book I plan to read because of the upcoming show that you told me about is Running Man, the original Running Man by Stephen King, who wasn't Stephen King. But I decided I'm getting it on Kindle. I just yeah.
That's fair.
Um,
I feel like this is the real failing is if you own a book, I should be able to scan in like the ISBN number or something and immediately have it as a digital book. It kills me that whenever I go look for a Kindle book, it seems like more often than not, or as often as when I look, is the version for Kindle is as expensive or sometimes more expensive than an actual physical book,
yeah,
which I don't understand.
I don't know. All right, so for my lamp, I gotta well, I gotta figure out which one of these I gotta use because I I like this type of desk lamp, this Luxo style lamp, but it doesn't really go as well as say this lamp, right? I'm curious. Ooh, hey, that's kind of fun. I guess that's okay. I don't know. It goes with the look and feel, the bar and stuff, but yeah, I guess I'll leave this here for now. Maybe we'll revisit this later because I don't love this, but it's in there. I'm gonna modify my colors though. I'm gonna actually go for more of a kind of this color right here as my primary color. Um, and then I'll leave the accent as black. The light color we'll just go with pure pure white. And now it's not gonna, of course, it's not gonna actually add any light, but yeah, I think that's gonna work right now. Whoops, I just moved it. All right, so I think this wall's done. Um,
No chair.
oh yeah, we're gonna need a chair. Let's drop this chair in here.
I mean, it could,
Um,
unless it's a standing desk, I guess.
I wonder how tall this chair goes. Let's find out.
Can you use the gangly, awkward table with it?
Will this go to 6.5 feet? Let's see. You just sitting with your feet 3 feet off the wall, working up with your head on the ceiling. It could be fun. Okay, so we have some options in here. This is a cool looking chair. I don't know if it's not. Oh, it is a Herman Miller chair. I saw somebody in the comments mentioned. Uh, I'm reading back over comments. The movie was Arnold Schwarzenegger, Mark. Running Man, the movie had Schwarzenegger, but the book was very different from the movie. Just as much social commentary about, actually way ahead of its time, I think, as far as reality TV.
Now, so you said you did recently reread it, or you are
I
going
just
to be
started,
rereading?
so I just finished last
Oh,
night. I finished Ready Player One last night and downloaded the sample for Running Man, so that'll be next. Well, yeah, I got to go with a high back chair. Whatever, man. You, all right. Ooh, look at this. I kind of feel like I want just like a stark white, just have it stand out, but I spill too much to use white, so we're gonna have to go with a different color.
so I was just telling you yesterday that I've been like I started binging. I don't even know how I started binging this with my kids this weekend. The Rust Brothers Rust Valley Restoration show on Netflix.
Yes.
And so they're constantly taking old cars and restoring them, but they're all muscle cars. But pretty much almost to a car, they put white leather interior in all of these things or white pleather. And I'm just thinking, what? Like every time you walk around outside of their shop, it is just nothing but mud and dirt. And I'm thinking, do you do you not see the problem with having a white interior in such a dirty place?
I don't know. Yeah.
Apparently they don't.
So I have the option of finishing my undercarriage with silver, but that doesn't really seem to go. So maybe I'll stick with the black paint on all that. Painted, painted, painted. All right, I like that. That's gonna work for me. I think, in fact, if I go in here to move it, I'm gonna rotate it just slightly open so it's inviting. Yet I want to verify that that will, yeah. So we can still, all right. So like that, like someone was working hard and just recently got up. Cool. I like this. This is kind of fun. I feel like I should have done this before I actually set up my office because this is the fourth iteration of my home office and I've yet to have modeled it in SketchUp. Do as I say, not as I do, I suppose. All right, so we have a couple pieces left that I can use. One is a clock, which I do like the idea of. Oh, it is not snapping to face. That's interesting. All right, so I'll come up here.
Is that it? That's a live component?
It is a live component. So I'm going to
Oh,
rotate 90
oh.
degrees. All right. I'm sure it gets more exciting than this. Let's see what we can configure here for our clock. Every once in a while, I forget that I changed my setup on OBS with my green screen things up here. So I look up there and I'm like, what the heck is that in the corner of my screen? Oh, it's me. That's my stuff. All right.
I'm disappointed that this live component, which has the word live in the name, doesn't have the current time.
Oh, now you're just pushing. Oh,
I just this
I
is
just
funny.
I just had maybe one of the dumbest thoughts I've ever had, and that's saying something. I thought this was a slider to determine how many hours you actually displayed on the clock.
I only want to see 4.
Like, that's weird. Why would I want to have a clock with only 10 hours on it? Oh, okay. No, this is so what Jody was asking about. So I could put this actually to 1:02, which is what my current uh the current time is. Oh man, that That was the next level of dumb right there. Yeah, if you're gonna make
Well,
a component of a
you said it, not
clock,
me.
yeah, there's some things you can make changeable, but probably leave all 12 all 12 numbers on there. All right, so we make it a big digital clock, make it a parametric clock. That sounds fun. Okay, okay. I like that curve look better. Make the back. It looks like this looks like concrete, like something you'd pour out of concrete and then drill a hole and put the little motor in there. Yeah, it's that's okay. I guess. Can I make? Oh, there we go. So I can make that a little bit starker. I like that. That's kind of a cool clock. Um, I would never be able to read the time on that though. So since this is my room, we're gonna go back to a traditional. I can take a risk on traditional clocks. Digital would be best, but I can't go without any numbers like that. So I can change the depth here, bring it back to the wall, frame width. That makes that bigger. Um, frame depth. Yeah, okay, so that works. Numbers. Ooh, I can make bigger numbers. This is probably where I'm
Ooh.
going right now because I feel like I'm at that point in life where bigger numbers, especially if they're more than a foot away from me, are probably good. Um, my accent color, can I turn, are those the numbers? Yeah, that is. Maybe that's a little too much. Maybe I could pull in, maybe as the clock, no, probably the rim. Let's make the rim match. We'll pull that into our orange palette to get that to match a little bit. Something like that. Yeah, that works. All right, what else do we got here to pull in here? So I have a couch. I have some blinds, some window blinds, which would be very important, especially if you film in your office. And then I have some couches. I do actually, in this room, right behind me, I actually have a futon. Um, so this is not too far from reality. This is the making do with the space you have. So here's my office, and then back behind me, we'll come in and we'll actually get uh, some more pieces in here. So I have two couches. Let me just pull both of them in and take a look at them. So I have a sectional. Actually, we've used this sectional before. I think we used this in the first live component video we did. Um, actually, we may have had both these. I don't know. Sorry, this guy's floating in the air. Bring him down to the ground. All right, so I know I have some options here where I can make this sectional bigger. I'm not gonna, obviously don't have room to have like this ottoman out here. It's not like people are gonna sit and watch me work so much. So I think a big lounging couch like this is probably excessive. I think I can take it down to, yeah, a straight three-seater. So that would be kind of where I'd want to go. But let me check out what I can do with this one. So it looks more like a love seat right now, but I'm guessing I can make that bigger. And I'm leaning towards this one because it has these little metal legs, which kind of goes with my metal I've got already. I say these things like my house is all coordinated. That's not a thing. This is wishful thinking right here, I think. Yeah, so I'm up to 3 seats. I like that. Um, base, shallow or deep. What does that mean? Oh, is it like oh no, that's with or without the legs.
I know
So
it's like existentially, like, does it talk about this boring, it's like, oh, the Kardashians, or is it really dig into
really think about
important
things.
stuff?
Does your
Yeah.
couch really make you think? I'm trying to think of what kind of thoughts a couch could muster up that would be helpful, but I'm got a little bit of a there we go. That's the look. Yeah, I'm gonna go with that one. I'm gonna delete this one. I don't want this one. So I'm gonna stick with this. You might still be able to pull in some colors. Again, white cushions. just I just don't see it. I don't. I guess some people out there can handle that, but man, nah. Um, but I am thinking maybe we go with like that that darker orangish color, like we have in the my accent colors are actually driving this at this point. So I pull this over a little bit, just a little more, like a little darker reddish orange maybe. Yeah, there we go.
Goes well with the wall thing decoration,
Yeah,
sound baffle.
we're definitely leaning into that as being our controlling color scheme. Maybe I'll take the support color in. What does that look like if that's white? Oh, it's so stark. It's so maybe gray. What if we just did a little grayish color? I like that. Oh, that'll work.
I'll be honest, gray and orange is that's my happy place.
This I seem to remember that you owned a vehicle that kind of did that.
Exactly. Well, and then I sold that vehicle and got a new vehicle, which is almost the same color. It's almost the exact same thing. I'm apparently very predictable.
Well, I guess this one's for you.
Thanks.
All right, so there we go. This is not too far off of what the room I'm in right now looks like. It's a little different, but um, let's turn on some more walls here. Let's go up to tags. Let's get our walls back
So,
on.
where's the table going to be with all the 3D? Oh, I guess you can put your 3D printers on those shelves over there and
Shelves.
everything.
We need more shelves. So we need to throw some shelves up on above this right here. Oop. You're going the wrong way.
How does he know where we're going? There you go. That's what you do. Is you put your shelves inside of the wall, and that way it takes up less space.
Wow, it's hard to change things out on those shelves, but they don't get in the way. Awesome. Let's see what we got for options for our dynamic component or for our live component. I don't have a bunch of toys and my own homemade stuff on here, but the shelf itself still works. All right, so I can configure my length, depth. My shelves are fairly narrow, so I'm gonna bring that back down. I do actually have 4 shelves, but maybe with this room we'll just do 3. Space them out a little more. Probably drop them down just ever so slightly. I like this. I
We're
like where
almost
this
out
is
of
going.
room. You almost had room in your room.
This is looking pretty sweet. All right. So you can see this is a pretty good example of how I can actually get a pretty good look, even though I have all this stuff in here, that those clear walls let me flip around pretty easy and see how stuff's going. And just having the ceiling off is enough for me to get in and do some edits right now. So it's a nice combination of a couple different methods. Shelf finish, I'll go with that darker wood. I'm gonna turn on parametric, see what it's like, but it's just, I guess I'm just too conservative for this. It's just too
Whoa,
crazy. I gotta
that
go
is
back.
crazy.
It's cool, but I'm boring. I'm boring. How many, can you go down to no supports? No, 2 supports is the minimum. 3 seems like it would make sense for that size.
Guess it depends on how heavy the stuff is.
That is true. And then I can change my support color to the dark to match the hardware on the rest. Okay, looking cool, looking cool.
Did you know that the clock had an orange or a yellow bezel? Did you do that?
I did that. I was trying to match
Okay.
this color over here. I think I was just slightly off. Yeah, it is a little too yellow.
Yeah, slightly off. That's yellow. That's orange.
I think I might have been sliding and not waited for it to update the color before I just called it and said it was good. So
That could be it.
let's try that again. Let's get that a little closer to, or it may have been just the shadow that I was looking at. Yeah, if I come like this looks pretty close to this. But yeah, if I look at it in the light, it's a
Yeah,
little,
when you're looking at it through the invisible wall, you can really see how yellow it was.
yeah, a little too yellow. Slide that
Luckily, most
back.
people don't have invisible walls. People
There
with
we go.
invisible walls should not throw stones,
Because
right?
depends what that invisible wall is made of.
Yeah, I suppose.
All right,
What if it's transparent aluminum, then it's fine.
that's true. Then they're
Oh, look
obviously
at
living in
that.
the UK
Windows.
too.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Or from the UK. I'm disappointed that these are not sticking to walls the way they're
They
supposed
they
to.
do not snap. They do not have glue to. I just oh, hey, that's a fun way to do it. Check it out. I can get this thing centered super easy by just flipping around the other side. There we go. Because I was looking at it this way, I'm like, well, I covered up the window. It's really hard to get it the right size now. All right, from this side, I could turn on live component configuration, bring up the configurator. Oh, I was just saying, I just
Do-do-do.
made a series of videos on groups and components for our Square One series. Um, and I feel like making that video, I have a much better grasp on Glue 2 than I've ever had before. Glue 2 and face camera, like I think I understand it better now than I did before. Well,
Good for you.
yeah,
And you made the video, so
I did. We need to make this smaller, less wide. Whoop, little too thin there. All right, there we go. That should be good. We probably don't have to go quite so far. Pull my drop distance up. All right, that's going to be good. That covers the window enough. Let's check our materials. Let's go with painted. Call me old-fashioned, but I'm going to go with white. Maybe we'll throw a color on the valance. Again, maybe just bring in a touch of one of these colors here. See what the dark orange looks like. Yeah, something like that. That was cool. All right, and I have one more feature that is actually part of my room that I want to incorporate. I'm going to bring this back in again. So I'm going to bring this thing in here. And you will notice that even though I grabbed it out of here when I brought it in, it has the same exact properties as the one I just set up. They are components. They are still components. So if you configure or change one, all the other copies are going to have those same copies, just like a regular component. But like a regular component, I can make this unique. So that didn't detach it from the component engine. It just made that separate from other instances of this same live component, which means I can come in here now, I can say configure live component. As I make changes to this one, it should not affect the one that's already in here. So what I'm going to do with this one right here, this is going to go from Venetian blind to a roller blind. It is going to, I'm going to mount it. Actually, first thing we'll do, this is going to be this color. Oh, I can't change the color. I'll have to explode it before I can change the color. I was going to make this into my green screen. So we're going to make it
ooh,
wider.
look at you.
And I'll show you how this is set up in my room. Kind of feel like giving you guys a peek behind the curtain. Hey, literally, kind of. All right, make this drop a little bit more. And then I'm going to move this thing. What's that? Oh. Yeah, I guess that's better. I'm going to move that up. So that sits up here at the ceiling. Actually, it actually drops down a little bit from the ceiling. So I'm going to grab it there, slide it out like this. This is right about where mine drops down and sits right above the couch like that. It does hang down on chains a little bit, so it does come down more like that. Yeah, that's about right. So the camera sits right here. And if I do it just right, there we go. I see the chair and then green behind. So to change this, to make this into actual green, this is where I have to detach it. So I have to say detach definition. In doing that, now when I right click on it, I don't have configure component available for that anymore because I detached it. But that means I can change anything. So I can come in here and I can change this to the green screen color. Oh no, I gotta go in. I thought I was in there further.
You got to go deeper.
That's right. So there we go. Grab that material, fill that with the green screen color, come out here, grab my roller, same thing. Fill that with the green screen color. There we go. Now we did it. We
Oh my
did.
goodness. I just got a migraine, like a spontaneous migraine looking at that color.
It is. Oh, I didn't do the back. What color is the back? I think the back is actually white.
Yeah,
So
I think that would make sense.
didn't go deep enough. Oh, I clicked on the clear wall. I knew it was going to happen sooner or later. All right, that is the thing. That's what I got. Oh, but oh no, I was gonna get crafty with it, but I can't get crafty with it. One of the things, one of the options you have in a live component for this window is to open and close it. And I was like, I'll just roll my green screen up when I'm done. But because I detached the definition, I don't have live component options anymore. So over
Wah,
here,
wah.
I can do this. I can open and close this. But this guy right here, because he's not a live component anymore, I can't do that. So what I do is come in here. I think I can just, I'll come in here and just slide that up. I'll have it hang down just a little bit so you know it's there. That is pretty close to my space. It looks like I don't have this. This is, by the way, this is not here. This is cameras, monitors, and lights, but it looks nice. That's kind of cool. I'll turn my ceiling back on. Let me just flip around, take a look at how this works. Kind of like that. That's kind of cool. So you can see how those see-through walls let me kind of spin around and peer. Of course, I still have the option. So if I did want to come in here and I do want to just like chop it off, don't want to see this back wall at all, I just want to see this, I can still come and use my section plane at this point. So I'll throw a section plane on here. I'll come right here. I'll slide this guy in like that. There we go. And now I can see into it. By default, section planes stay selectable. So they actually have this kind of foggy, it's like a 5% or a 10% white fill on them. So what you're seeing here isn't like the full bright color. It's actually muted because the section plane's in the way. It also means if you click right here like this, it will oftentimes pick the section plane instead of the geometry behind it. It kind of gets in the way like that. So a lot of times, one of the things I will do is I'll work with section planes turned off like this, and then just rely on the outliner to let me interact with it. So by this, I'm inside here. I can select everything. It's not going to get in the way. I see the true colors of everything like this. But if I want to turn it on and off, I just come over here, right click, and here's where I can activate cut without having it be visible and be in the way. So that's an option too, just something to think about as you set this up. I very rarely want to see my actual section planes because when I think about being in SketchUp, I'm thinking about SketchUp representing a 3D model of real world things. And when I look inside of a room, I don't have a section cut plane. So I usually leave it turned off and just interact with it over here rather than having that this show up all the time like this. Of course, hey, you have a better way to do it, you do it your way. That's just my thoughts on it. All right. I haven't been watching comments at all yet. It's good to see you guys are talking about stuff. I guess I just haven't been paying attention. I'm sorry. I apologize.
We're just ignoring you.
Yeah. Hope you guys are talking about fun stuff or something. I don't know. Yeah, so Titus is right. It is probably Command S time. Yeah, so that actually made it very, very quick and very easy to do that. I enjoyed that. I kind of feel like I need to add a clock though. I don't have a clock here. I feel like I should get one. I'm gonna get one because of this what we just did. Cool. Yeah, and so I have room here for the door to swing open. Um, Looks pretty good.
You could add a light. Peggy's pointing out that there's going to be pretty dark in there unless you're
That's
sitting
true.
at the desk.
Let's one up that. I've this is a thing I actually do. I really want to do is. Oh, I'm stuck outside the wall. I actually have a desire to add a ceiling fan to this room. My concern, of course, is that I do actually have a green screen hanging from the ceiling, and I'm worried that if I replace the light with a ceiling fan, it's gonna get Chevy Chasey in here. Basically, is my concern. So let's do this. Let's turn off the left wall and the front wall. Leave the ceiling on. Let's stick a fan in here and see how small a fan I need in order to put a fan in here. I believe that we actually have a fan somewhere in the live component list. If you're looking for a specific live component, I'm going to type in fan and I'm going to hit enter. And of course, I'm going to get lots of fans. But if I come over here to advanced and turn on live component, that's going to limit my list only to models that are live components. And there's my live component ceiling fan from SketchUp Labs. I'm going to grab this, and I haven't been doing this, but I do have the option to configure this model through 3D Warehouse. Everything I've been doing so far is download it first and then configure it and use it inside of SketchUp. But you don't have to do that. You can actually configure it in kind of a sandbox all by itself on 3D Warehouse here, and then once it's configured exactly how you want it, then bring it over. It's still configurable when you bring it over. So once I get it into my model, I can still use configure just like I have been, but this is kind of gives you the initial run by itself before you actually come through. I can spin it around. It's sort of like I said, it's like a sandbox. So I'm just isolated to only working and looking at this model as I do this. So I'm assuming I have to have a little bit smaller radius. It's going to have to be a smaller fan. I would like to keep it as high up as possible. We'll probably go with square blades to match the look of the rest of the building or the rest of the room.
Industrial square.
That's right. 4 or 5 blades. I don't
7.
know what the. I think 4 is what I most commonly see, but
It's it seems most common.
what you got going above your head?
Uh, right now, I've got a pretty janky light situation. I won't even talk about it. I need a new dynamic. I need a live component for this thing.
There you go. So then I have this option for light, which looks like it turns the 2 bottom surfaces from the default material into kind of a lighter material to represent a light. That'll work. All right, so I think that's going to work. I'm going to go ahead and download it. This is just like downloading a regular model from 3D Warehouse at this point. Once I've configured it, it does build it and then download it. Yeah, Sarah's commenting on how small that clock is over on the wall. You're absolutely right. It is way too tiny to be all the way over there. I will make that bigger. I do have to because the live component itself doesn't have the option of resizing. I won't be able to use scale on it, so I will have to detach it before I can go and resize it. So I'll do that though. I don't know what's happening right now. I tried to download this and a thing happened, which wasn't a good thing.
An error. An error has occurred.
Yeah, I seem to be
I
stuck.
stepped out into the kitchen to grab something to drink and looked in the family room, and it's a 5 blade
Oh,
fan in our family room.
all right. Well, I seem to be stuck. I don't know if this is an internet connection thing or oops. Well,
Like how
obviously
it's
it's
not
not.
even It's not even spinning on the button.
Nothing is happening right now. So I'm gonna jump ship. Avert your eyes, children.
What was that one movie where he would just shout earmuffs at his kid every time he was going to swear, and his
Old
kid would
school.
cover up his ears in school.
All I gotta say is earmuffs. All right, we're out. I don't know what happened there. I'm scared now. I'm scared. All right, let's get back in.
It's probably because you picked 4 blades and it was supposed to be 5.
It's like, didn't you hear Jody? All right. Fortunately, someone urged me to save immediately before doing that, so I did. So we did not lose any work. I've gotten to this point. I don't know if you guys, anybody else is out there, but I've gotten to this point where starting up SketchUp takes 4 or 5 seconds, and it's bugging me. Some extension I have, I generally start adding extensions as I need them, right? So new version, totally stripped down. I don't have anything, and then I go get selection toys and solid inspector and the things I use every day, and I start building them back up in there. And then I start adding things that I haven't used before for a while. And then eventually I've got 40 or 50 extensions running every time. And I don't mess with it until I get to the point where every time I start up, it's taking seconds to start up. Because to me, that is totally unacceptable. Seconds. All right, so let's address this clock issue first. I'm going to turn my ceiling off. I'm going to turn my left wall back on. I could tie this to scenes too, by the way. I could actually, if I don't like having tags open, I could actually tie the visibility of each of these 5 pieces to a scene, and I could actually have those buttons across the top. Just something to think about if you don't like the idea of having to come over and open the tags window all the time. If you make scenes and the only attribute in the scene is that visibility, you could actually do that and toggle off quicker.
It's funny you mentioned that because just a bit ago, Dieter was saying he would love to see a good video that really teaches you about scenes
Hey,
in the same way that the Blade Runner, or I mean the Cyberpunk video was so educational.
I love when I accidentally make something educational. That's
No. He wants you to make something that is educational.
oh,
You haven't done it yet.
okay.
Scenes are still not educational.
I have a goal then. All right. So again, I don't have a configuration option in the standard live component. So this is where I do have to say detached definition, and then I can just click on it, and I can just use regular scale at this point. So grab scale. I'm going to grab by this corner, pull it up uniformly. There we go. That's the stuff. I could see. Let's see. Let's sit down right here, and what time is it? Oh, I could read that. It is 1:02. Totally. Back to work. Working.
So the nice thing is
It's
there's
still
also
1:02?
a clock.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, this day's going forever. There's a clock in the corner of your screen there on your computer too.
That's true. Let's see if I can... No, there's not. I have a special version of... Well, this is obviously Windows because I have... Yeah. I have a special version of Windows that removes all Windows UI and only shows me SketchUp. Sometimes I feel like that's not too far from reality, I'll be honest with you. Other things, SketchUp. All right, let's get that thing back in here. Get rid of that left wall again. Command S again. Let's go grab that ceiling fan. Let's try this again. All right, so we'll go ceiling fan, enter. Filters, only live components. 1. I'm just going to download it without configuring it. See if that's, I don't know why that happened, but that should eliminate the issue. All right, I'm going to start by getting this centered. So,
oh, I like that. 2 blades. The 2-bladed, that's not a fan at that point. That's just a propeller.
Yeah, that's just going to pull the ceiling down on my head. I don't like that plan.
Exactly.
So I'm going to get this centered in the room first. I'm going to do that by hitting Command on my keyboard to cycle through my grips. So I'm going to have, here's my center point on this side. I'm going to bring that through to centered here, spin this way, grab my center point, come this way to the center here. Where's my center? There we go. All right, so this is centered now. Now that I got centered, now I can right click and configure and see how big of a fan I can put in there before it starts to cause problems with my green screen. You know, the nice thing about designing in virtual reality is you really don't have to worry about price so much. Like, what's a
Someone
5-blade
pointed
fan
out earlier,
cost?
one of the flaws in these live components is you basically are now creating a bunch of custom, one-off, bespoke things that have to be built, and you can't just go to Home Depot and pick it up.
Okay, that's probably true. That's probably true. All right, there we go. Yeah, I like that. That works. But I could be using these components to come up with something that is close to what I'm actually looking at working with. So I could find a middle ground there. I'm sorry, Smell It. I just don't need you, and you're getting in my way of my fan.
When that yellow didn't go with would go with the colors of the room.
All right, let me see. Let me check the shadows because I think that I'm closer than I think I am. But if I come in here, you're right. That's way off. All right. Okay, so let's get rid of this left wall. Let's match it exactly. I'm gonna come in here. I'm gonna double click in here, double click in here, double click in here, grab all of this,
We've got to go deeper.
grab the color from here, and there we go. Now, awesome. Now I can turn that off and really get some shadows. Still match. There we go. So now I'm matching. All right, I like it. I like my new home office. Kind of makes me want to like actually coordinate some colors, but as we were mentioning, that's gonna mean like buying things or painting things, and I don't think I want it that much. I do wonder,
I
and this
feel
is my wonder in real life too, if I do put a fan up there, even though I have clearance, can I have that on without like seriously messing with the air in like blowing my green screen around? I don't know if it's ever going to actually
yeah,
work.
yeah. That question was actually brought up. D. Carter was wondering if that's going to mess with the green screen.
Well, if I roll it all the
I
way
think it
up,
was just
it's in its real life, it's got that, hard metal shell. So if I put it all the way up, I don't think it'll mess with it. I don't think that I don't know that even I don't know if I'd be able to have it on much higher than the lowest setting if I actually had the green screen down.
so. Uh, Star Mangerine was wondering about that mouse in your left hand.
Oh,
Gave him a link, but
wait,
this old thing.
this shapeliness. This is a 3D mouse. It is used to move the camera in a lot of not just SketchUp, but a lot of modeling, animation, even photo editing software. So what this does is this takes control of the camera. So as a SketchUp user, a lot of us are used to doing this, seeing this kind of view in SketchUp where I use the middle mouse. This is actually how SketchUp's designed to be used. I can use that scroll button to zoom in and out. I tap it and spin it in 3D. This works really well. A 3D mouse takes that view and covers it by itself. So I can just, by moving this puck right here, I can zoom in and out or move the model around in 3D space, spin it, and it leaves this mouse free to do things like, all right, let me go grab the next command I'm going to need when I'm on the opposite side of the building here. It also lends these nice, smooth 3D movements that you otherwise wouldn't be seeing. So like I said, this is what we get used to as a SketchUp user, seeing this kind of thing where I kind of grab and shuffle and move and zoom in steps, zoom out in steps. That's kind of what we're used to. If you're presenting this to somebody who's not familiar with SketchUp or their brain's not necessarily expecting those zooms to happen, it can be a little jarring. So as a presentation tool, it's really nice because you get these nice smooth 3D movements. As a design tool, it's nice because like I said, as you're moving around the model, your mouse can jump over and grab the next command you want to use, and then I'm ready when I come in. So it does speed up for me. It has sped up my design, and for presentation, I think it's really hard to beat the nice smooth movement of moving in 3D space with a 3D mouse. It does take work. This is not a grab it and you're going to be presenting awesomely. You do have to dedicate a little time and energy to actually using it. All right. Well, I mean, I hate to be a quitter, but I also like being done when I'm done, and I'm kind of feeling that we've done the thing we needed to did, and I feel
Did you use all of the components?
I opted to, we had some options in there. We had multiple shelves, we had multiple couches, so I opted to use one of them because the average bedroom's not set up for a sectional and a couch and a full office. You know, most bedrooms can't accommodate all of that. So, oh, I do have news though. The good news is we were able to get online with Tyson and fix his sound issues. Which was great
Right.
because that was rough.
Supposedly.
Yeah,
Well, the
test
sound
it.
issues were specifically that you couldn't hear the most important part of the whole show, which was me talking to him.
Oh, I thought I was gonna be included in that, but
Oh
yeah,
yeah, and you
yeah,
also you.
Jody. Jody was
But people hear you all the time.
important. That's true. They got their break. So that's a good thing because Tyson's going to come back next week and give us another model. So it's kind of cool. What I was liking about it was I I do my best to kind of present as many different ways to model things as possible when I talk about things. But there's definitely, as I watched Tyson, I realized I am stuck in my ways on a few things. Like there's some default methods I go to show information. He has a whole different set of tools that he uses, but literally too, because he uses a stylus and
Stylus.
um,
No 3D space mouse.
yeah. So it's a totally different workflow. So it's kind of nice to get to see those different workflows. So he'll be back here next week. I don't remember what he's going to model. He told me he had something he wanted to do, but I don't remember what it was. We'll put it up on the calendar.
What's the theme next week?
It's next week is Fun Week.
Okay.
So
Oh,
it could be anything.
well, Tyson does some fun stuff, so
He does.
that could be good.
One of my favorites was his telescope model, which, hey, modeling a telescope in SketchUp, not something you normally think of, but it was really a fun thing to watch. So yeah, so I'm excited to see that next week. So if you're around, come join us and see what Tyson has to show us. If you're not around, come back and watch the video afterwards, I guess. But yeah, what else we got going on? Most of it. Yeah, that's all I can think of.
Right. So just going to scroll back a little bit and point out, Titus said that you wouldn't be using your fan. You wouldn't have to worry about the fan causing ripples on your backdrop because you'll be turning the fan off while you're modeling or during a live stream because it makes noise. Yeah, potentially.
I guess it depends on how good of a fan I buy. For me, for the bedroom fans, is this. Oh, it's become white noise at this point, but I remember trying to like balance it for way too long and giving up. All right, well, we're going to call it there because I'm trying to get to the point where I'm not beating a dead horse, and I feel like I've already got there. So this is our 3D model of an extra room converted into a home office. My home office specifically, kind of. I hope you've enjoyed that and learned something.
So is this how big that room is?
It is. It's about that room. It's got kind of a weird. The door's actually not here. There's like a little bit of an alcove right here where the door comes off of this wall, and then this is closet. But this is the actual usable space. Is about the same. Yeah, that's about the size of the space I'm in.
And we haven't talked again about possible. We're still working out the Tyson thing to figure out if Wednesday is the new normal or if we're going to change our normal.
Yeah, I'm hoping to have a solid plan by the end of the month. Maybe we'll while you, me, and Tyson are all online, we can actually maybe unveil what our plan's going to be going on. I still don't know what it's going to be, but we want to try to maybe hit multiple days a week and get more than 4 live renders or live models every month. So more of this. So that's kind of what we're shooting for. So yeah, we'll talk about it. We'll come back next week. We'll talk about it. We'll put whatever the plan is. Will be on the forum, forums.sketchup.com. If you don't already go there, it is where we share our our plans, our schedule. That's what I skipped on that word schedule. So head over to the forum, check out the schedule, and we'll let you know what our plan is. We will be back here next week one way or another, most likely Tyson modeling, something that is fun. So until then, we will see you guys later.
Until then, we'll see you then.
That makes more sense. Bye, guys.